2025 was just wow. There were so many incredible games that came out in the past 12 months that there's no way one could hope to play them all to completion while also living a normal everyday life. All that came at a cost, of course, and the developers who made these amazing games didn't exactly have a great year. In this recap video, I won't be focusing too much on the events that took place in the industry because I don't want to think about those and end the year on a sad note. Instead, I'll stick to talking about 10 of the games that I played this year and enjoyed quite a bit. Being shown right now are games that did not make the list, but which I feel are important enough to be included in this recap video. I will almost certainly miss someone's favorite game, but that's just another sign of just how good this year was in terms of high quality releases. Now let's get into the list in alphabetical order. The latest mainline entry in the 18-year-old Assassin's Creed franchise came and went without much fuss, but it didn't do as bad as some people claim it did, nor did it do well enough for Ubisoft to be completely happy with the sales numbers. Personally, I went in with low expectations and enjoyed the time I spent with the game. The dual protagonist experiment didn't work out too well, and I would love to go back to sticking with a single character chosen at the start of the game. Otherwise, this was a good crash course in ancient Japanese culture and a decent open world game overall. I surprised myself by playing this game at launch, despite not having much experience with the franchise. However, I ended up enjoying the 40 or so hours I spent on Borderlands 4, which I mostly played to take a break from my go-to looter shooter Destiny 2. As a solo player, it was quite frustrating to deal with the second wind mechanic early on, but after leveling up a bit, the game began to feel more enjoyable. I still haven't returned to see what the developers have done with the first DLC, which they made free for everyone, but that's the best part about this game. It isn't exactly a full live service title, so I don't have to worry about content disappearing every few months. It's a bit funny how the conversation around Expedition 33 slowly started shifting from how the game is great to people getting tired of the game getting a lot of attention in the awards circuit and overshadowing other games that they liked. Putting aside the attention it's been getting, there's no denying that this game offers a truly unique turn-based RPG experience. That experience may translate to enjoyment for some people and frustration for others, but it's unique nonetheless, and it's so rare to get something new and original in games these days. I intended to review this game and even recorded my playthrough, but at the end I wasn't sure how I felt about it. The problem was that I kept comparing it with the first game, and that was such a bizarre and memorable experience that the sequel, even though it was well produced, simply didn't hit the same highs. I would gladly recommend Death Stranding 2 to anyone who enjoyed the first game, if only for the many quality of life improvements offered with the gameplay. Some may argue the game being too easy has ruined the core experience, and that's probably true. The bigger issue, however, is that the first game set the bar so high that the sequel could not exceed it. Bungie once again had a roller coaster year with Destiny 2. For the second year in a row, they tried experimenting with a new release schedule, this time scrapping the paid seasonal model entirely and switching to two paid expansions in the same year. The first one, Edge of Fate, was received quite poorly by the core fanbase and did not really bring in many new players. The second one, Renegades, was arguably the better one of the two, and being based on Star Wars, brought in a fresh flavor to the general gameplay, thanks largely due to the lightsaber, which has quickly become my new favorite. The new raid and dungeon were both excellent in terms of quality, but the addition of a tiresome modifier system called feats made it a bit annoying to play them on repeat using LFG matchmaking. Overall, I felt I got my money's worth with both the expansions, and hopefully the game survives long enough for Bungie to get things in order and make their next move to save the franchise and maybe the company itself. The third entry in the modern reboot of the Doom franchise turned out to be a fun game, but maybe not for hardcore fans of the franchise. This was a game that was a bit slower and more welcoming to newer players, and the few new twists it added in the form of dragon and mech combat did not really land well. I found it to be a good Game Pass title, but I probably would not have bought it at full price on day one. With a weak story backed up by strong gameplay and excellent visual presentation, Ghost of Yotei just barely managed to hit the high standards expected from a flagship PlayStation Studios single-player title. I had a good time and really enjoyed the technical performance of the game, but at this point, I really hope Sucker Punch is working on some other IP rather than a third Ghost game. Despite releasing in the same month as Hollow Knight Silksong, Hades 2 managed to make a strong impact in the gaming calendar this year. With amazing art, a thrilling soundtrack, and of course a strong story and addictive gameplay loop, this game offered a remarkable package overall, and fans of the roguelike genre had a great time with it. I have the same request for Supergiant games as I do for Sucker Punch. Please work on something else instead of another sequel. One of my earliest favorites of this year, Monster Hunter Wilds, spent most of the year dealing with angry feedback about its performance issues. Behind that, though, was an enjoyable Monster Hunter game that brought in many quality of life improvements that made the game more approachable to new players. Similar to Doom, hardcore fans were a bit annoyed at how easy the game became, but they eventually had a few fights added through title updates that increased the challenge. After 4 major title updates, this game is in great shape, at least in terms of content. On the performance side, for PC players, there seems to be some work still left to be done. South of Midnight was another game that was well produced but had an underwhelming reception overall. It offers great visuals, shown through an interesting stop-motion art style, a decent story, gameplay that is enjoyable in parts, and a soundtrack that is enjoyable all the time. There were plenty of other games that I enjoyed this year, but yes, this was my top 10 list. I probably played way too many games instead of focusing on work, but hey, I couldn't help it if so many enjoyable games showed up in the same calendar year. What were some of your favorite titles this year? With everything that's happening in the real world, I hope that you were able to find some relief by escaping into some fantastical virtual worlds. Thanks for watching, and here's looking forward to 2026.